Call the regular board meeting to order. All members of the board are present except board members Bleckinger and Buscalia and ex officio student board members Karkanis, Maurice, and Purva. Dr. Singh, would you please lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance to the flag?
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. I don't know. I can find out. Okay. Thank you.
May I have a motion to recess into executive session to discuss employment matters relating to particular persons? Dr. Spicer, Mr. Bulin, all in favor? Motion carries unanimously. I call the regular board meeting to order. All board members are present except board members Bleckinger and Biscaglia. Good evening and welcome to all in attendance. Please be advised that in the event of a fire emergency and an evacuation should be necessary, an alarm will sound. Please note all marked emergency exits and evacuate well away from the building. At this time, we request that everyone turn their cell phones and other electronic devices to silent. Thank you. We are now on item 3. Dr. Brown Hall, I turn it over to you for the school and district spotlights.
Thank you very much, Board President. This is truly one of the highlights of our board meeting. Throughout the course of his career, Bills quarterback Josh Allen has inspired those in our community and around the world to be good and to do good. Following his MVP award, that message resonated within the halls of Williamsville North, where student council leaders are working to spread kindness throughout the school with their Be Good, Do Good campaign. Please welcome North Principal Andrew Bowen, Student Council co-advisors Aaron Devontier and Patty Hooper, along with the student council members to share more.
Good evening. Thank you very much, right?
Very nice. Oh,
Thank you so much for this opportunity to spotlight North High School. Our student council advisors have done an incredible job planning many activities to build a community at North High School. So I'm going
Awesome.
to turn it over to Mrs. Hooper and Mrs. Devontier to tell you more about it.
great.
I'm Patty Hooper, one of the co-advisors for Student Council, and I think we all love Josh Allen, and
Indeed.
but his MVP speech really struck a chord. And when Aaron and I took over Student Council, this is our first year as advisors. We wanted to have building community be part of everything we do throughout the year. So our student leaders, we brought the idea of this campaign to kind of encourage good behavior, kindness, recognizing kindness within the community, and wanting kids to feel good about belonging at North and being proud to be Spartans.
Yeah, I love the school that we teach at. The kids are amazing, and we just wanted to do something that every month we recognize the goodness that is in our school. So every month we have a different thing. Well, first of all, we have a little fanny pack that teachers wear with little tokens in
Not a
that
fan.
when they're caught doing something good, they get a token that is good to be used at the school store or our hotspot that we have. And now every month we're trying to partner with different clubs too. Like, so for our next one, we are helping out with the Polar Plunge and doing a gingerbread house contest. And the proceeds from that is going to go towards the Polar Plunge. And each month we're looking to do something to help out within our school and show that these kids are amazing. So we'll let them talk a little bit more.
Hi, I'm Alina. First off, thank you so much for having us today. Throughout the start of school, the Be Good, Do Good campaign has not only brought everyone together, but has cultivated a better sense of community
Awesome.
that everyone has been buying into. We have done various activities throughout the start of school, and currently we have been collecting cans to make turkey dinners for people who are less fortunate.
Hi, I'm Sri Dudi. I really, really love being part of Be Good, Do Good. I have helped plan one of my favorite actually things that we've done is our pumpkin kind of scavenger hunt, you would call, during October, where we put around pumpkins with positive messages, and it was just kind of a fun way to help our school feel more inclusive and, like Alina said, kind of cultivate a sense of almost identity and inclusivity in North.
Awesome. Thank you very much.
Please enjoy this video. Thank you.
we wanted to start a new campaign in the school that promoted inclusivity and kindness, which is our Be Good Do Good campaign. Our first Be Good Do Good meeting, it was a couple of people from executive board and our student council officers.
We were basing it off of Josh Allen and like what he said in his speech and just how like it inspires people to like do more good in their community, and we were trying to spread that around North. It kind of makes like a mentorship for the freshmen whenever the seniors interact with them. It really helps them prepare for like when they're older, because teamwork is something that's involved in almost everything.
Where do you think we should start?
For October, we put paper pumpkins around that had tasks to do around the school. For example, put a sticky note on a locker that had an encouraging message, or say hi to someone new. That was a really big success. We had so many people being so kind. I had actually a couple of my friends telling me like, hey, I actually met someone really cool today. I didn't know them before, but this campaign really helped me make a new friend.
For November, we are going to do a food collection and make Thanksgiving boxes to send to an organization who they send out to families. For every donation that they bring in, the kids actually get to add on to our turkey, so our turkeys have some more feathers. Hopefully by the end of November, we have a turkey that's full of feathers, and it's just a nice thing to help out our community and to show how much Hoboken North cares.
Be Good Do Good for me is a way to share my kindness and how I want to be with everyone. I love to be kind and I love to get to know many people. I feel so proud just like seeing that our campaign has done such an effect on the school.
It makes me feel kind of empowered in a certain type of way, because we really want to put this responsibility on the students to like show their leadership skills and know that they have like responsibilities as they get older. It just gives me hope for the future, because a lot of people doubt this generation, but honestly seeing how compassionate some of them can be is really inspiring. It makes the future look bright.
Awesome. Thank you very much. That's very inspiring. Next, we know the importance of providing students with unique opportunities and experiences to connect with the curriculum. Recently, a Williamsville South High School English language arts class took a trip to the Eternal Flame for inspiration during one of their lessons. Please welcome Principal Keith Boardman, who will share more.
Thank you for having us. Unfortunately, our teacher couldn't make it. She is actually, she started practice about 10 minutes ago. She's our varsity basketball coach this year.
Awesome.
So, I said, no, you should do that. It's only the second day. I think we all know that learning isn't contained just in the four walls of the classroom. And one of the things that this project is designed to do is really connect these students to things outside of school. In this case, it's getting out to Chestnut Ridge and spending some time hiking to the Eternal Flame. I think you'll see from the video, there's some really interesting things that they do to connect that with the English curriculum, that very concept of transcendentalism, Thoreau, Walden, all of that is sort of connected. And it's a great opportunity for our kids to really do something very different with what it is that they're doing as they're writing there. And I'll let the video go through and talk about the rest.
Thank you, Principal Boardman.
We're in Chestnut Ridge. We walked to the Eternal Flame, and along the way there were 5 different stations where students stopped and did different activities to connect with the nature around them, connect with the people around them. We start this school year with this nature unit, and the whole idea is to take their creativity in different directions and be able to expand on thoughts in ways that they really haven't had the freedom to in like typical classes.
I felt ideas come to me smoothly. I feel happier when I'm outside. Just being in the quiet and in the peace helps to bring out the more hidden aspects of your surroundings.
I've always seen videos and photos. We learned about it in science class before, and it's just so interesting to look at it with your own eyes. It's just so special. I don't think I get out into nature often enough, and this experience really makes me want to do it more often.
When we walk back, I want you to pay attention to the temperature on your skin, the silence of the woods. In life, we have our habits, our ways of maneuvering through our lives. If we're always going on track A, we never get to see what's on track B. So much of life and school and our culture is always go, go, go. And we never get a chance to be human beings. And that is just being still, being with ourselves, being quiet, slowing down. That's an experience that they don't get very often, that I think echoes and vibrates in their hearts after they leave.
Enjoyed some nature, got to see just the calmness and like peacefulness of the forest. Just being able to appreciate the small things. Get taken to slow down and experience everything around you, not going a million miles an hour.
I got this mushroom because it looks kind of like a seashell, and it reminds me that things can fit into places that they're not really supposed to.
The Mandala Station is the students going out, finding things in the woods that they connect with, bring it back and be able to tell a piece of their story and share it with people around them. You really can start finding yourself, and that's the whole purpose of being out here, being able to find things you connect with, being one with the nature around you.
I chose the multi-kited leaf because I'm very culturally diverse. My mom is from 2 different backgrounds, and so is my dad, so I'm kind of like a mix of everything. Life is busy. We always have things to do, whether it's sports, your clubs, your societies. So this was just a really good day for us to just be here. There's so much more than ourselves. Like, you're this one person in this huge place. There's so much more to life than just us. It's just like taking a breath and pausing and just letting go of everything else and being present.
How powerful, right? Thank you for sharing that. I want to go on the next Eternal Flame field trip, right? Great. Finally, tonight we want to take a moment to congratulate Dr. Tim Redman, a social studies teacher at Williamsville East High School. At the end of October, Dr. Redman was recognized and honored with the Dr. Reed Taylor Award for Human Rights by the Academy for Human Rights. Throughout the course of his career, Dr. Redman has informed, engaged, and not only developed professional learning to equip teachers, but also curriculum for students to be prepared citizens and leaders in a diverse global community. His work exemplifies and embodies our mission and belief statements as a district. Here is a look at Dr. Redman, his impact, and the Dr. Reed Taylor Award for Human Rights.
To receive this award means an awful lot. I think, one, it's an acknowledgement of your dedication to education, but it's also specifically an award for human rights education.
Tim is at the leading edge of a national conversation on what teachers need. Now, it's one thing to learn how to teach, 20, 30 years ago, but we know the earth keeps spinning. And Tim's had his fingers on the pulse of the national and international conversation. And brings that to support our teachers and to train them on important topics. And as the conference manager for the Academy for Human Rights, over the past 10 years, he's trained hundreds of local educators. And those numbers matter because each teacher teaches roughly 125 students a year. So pretty quickly, Tim has filled up Highmark Stadium with lives he's impacted on the most important topics of our day.
He makes a point of seeing the kids as to who they are and finding a way to connect to them. Because if you can't connect to the kids in your classroom, the other stuff is never going to happen. So he finds a way to connect to them, get to know who they are. Sometimes the phrase human rights might seem too big to digest, but caring about the person next to you is not too hard to do. Seeing injustice and addressing it is not so hard to do. And he helps to give them the building blocks to do that, both in Global One and AP government, as well as the critical thinking and human rights electives.
His classes really changed my perspective as not just a student, but I feel like as a citizen, not just in my community, but in the world. I feel like I left, especially human rights and genocide, I left that class with a much larger understanding of my responsibility as a global citizen, of my civic duty in this country and in this world.
I hope that I can sort of spark that initiative. I mean, that is the aspiration for every teacher, right? This is why we get into this line of work. We want to inspire students. We want to inspire our kids to become the best that they can possibly be.
I feel so much more prepared. I feel like I have a much better understanding of human rights issues, even how complicated they are, how complicated it is to tackle them, but how important it is to tackle them.
The importance of human rights education in our school and in our district. And I'm inspired by the fact that I was lucky enough to be given this award, and it motivates me to be even a better advocate for human rights education here in the district and across the country.
Awesome. It is my pleasure to welcome and congratulate Dr. Tim Redmond, accompanied by Principal Jason Swenson, Director of Social Studies Ms. Karen Greco, and Social Studies teacher Carrie Faye Daly.
Well, thank you. Hello, everybody. Thank you for that wonderful video, Nick. I know how much time you put into that. And just a couple quick words, really about my wonderful colleague, Carrie Faye Daly, who nominated me for the award. It's a blessing to work with such brilliant people and passionate people and great teachers. She's an inspiration to me every day. And then I'd like to thank some other people in the district. I think it was probably around 2010 when I got an email from Karen Greco that there was this great program that was running in the summer for students about human rights education, and they were inviting teachers to attend. And so I decided to go, and I went, and that's where I first met Drew Bider, who was in that video. He's in Springville, other great teachers like Jim Gang at Hamburg, Lori Rabel at Hamburg, who had the summer program, and all these kids were attending, 30, 40 kids, taking a week out of their summer to learn about human rights. And I was so inspired, and I came back the next year, and I emailed Karen and said, Karen, I'd really love to start a human rights elective in the district. And immediately she said, okay, that sounds great. Let's do it. And so then we got together with another colleague, Rebecca Dolan at North, and we wrote the curriculum for the course and then immediately started offering it. And it's been a very popular course since then. And then after that, through teaching that class, I actually was able to meet a gentleman named Carl Wilkins, who, when the genocide broke out in Rwanda in 1994, the U.S. Embassy told every American to evacuate. He refused. He was the only American that stayed behind. And he ended up saving hundreds and hundreds of lives of children who were in orphanages, who were going to be slaughtered. And he personally saved them. And I just met him through this work. He has since come to Williamsville East. I think he's been to North as well, maybe, and I think South. I think he's actually been in all three of our high schools over the years. And that he's been able to come here because of support from the PTSA. That gives me money for paying for his travel and things like that. And then after I established a relationship with him, he asked me to go to Rwanda with him, and I went to Rwanda with him, I think in the summer of 2016. And I won't get into all the details of the trip, but all I can say is it was life-changing. It made me a far better teacher. It also made me a far better person. And part of that trip was paid for by the ELF grant through the district. And so the larger point here, I guess, is at every step of the way in my career and journey, the district has been there for me. They have provided resources, whether it's letting me know about this summer program, providing money to bring in speakers, providing money for me to go on this trip to Rwanda. And that has made me a better teacher. It's, I think, helped the students become better people as well. Hearing Carl speak makes you a better person. And so I'm just very grateful for all the support that I've had over the years. because it has made me a better teacher, but also a better person. And so it's not, a district can do far more than just develop their teachers with new technology or whatever. They can develop their teachers as people. And when the teachers become better people and they're in front of the classroom, our students become better people as well. And so I'm very grateful for the support, and I'm very grateful for the award. Thank you.
Wow. Thank you very much. Are we doing a picture, Nick? Okay. Dr. Redmond, if you could.
We're going to do a photo. Okay.
Board President, I turn it back over to you.
Thank you, Dr. Brown Hall. Are there any board acknowledgements? Dr. Singh.
I wanted to congratulate the Drama Club of East. We went to their play Radium Girls on last Friday. Stuart was with me, and we were just amazed at the performances of all the cast there, and of course the effort that went to building the set and everything there.
Thank you.
I have one.
Ms. Vice President Manna.
Thank you. Today is, we honor school-related professionals. It's School-Related Professionals Day. So those people who make our schools run every single day, from early morning bus routes to after-school cleanup, from bandaging scraped knees to serving nutritious meals, from maintaining safe buildings to supporting our classrooms, our SRPs truly rise to the challenge. Thank you for all you do.
Thank you, SR. Other board acknowledgements. Ms. Poulin.
Yes, I would like to acknowledge all of the young students from our middle school and some of our freshman high school students also, and their music instructors for the great showing that they performed at the area all-state concerts 2 weeks ago. It was truly phenomenal, and looking through the program and seeing the number of Williamsville students in each one of those 6 different groupings was quite impressive. I think we had at least a third of each one of those. So congratulations to all of them.
Thank you so much. Other board acknowledgements? Okay, we will move on to item 4A, which is public expression. I call on Parliamentarian Poulin to review our format.
Welcome to all of you who have come to observe this regular board meeting. Per our policy 1510, the board allows for up to 30 minutes for this first public expression period. This is a time when we invite members of our school community to share ideas, opinions, and concerns with us. While we are here to listen carefully and we take your concerns seriously, public comment is not designed to be a discussion. Therefore, please do not expect us to respond tonight. Instead, you will receive a response by email after our meeting.
Because we want to maintain mutual respect and civility, please ensure that comments are delivered in a respectful manner to the board directly. Also, under state and federal privacy laws, we are unable to entertain any comments related to employee personnel information or any topic which may disclose information about a particular student. On these matters, we ask that you go through the appropriate administrative channels. Please note that individuals are required to sign up prior to our meeting, and each speaker is allotted 3 minutes for comments. You will be signaled at 2.5 minutes so that you may conclude your remarks. At this time, we will begin our public comments. After I call on you, please step up to the podium and state your name. Whitney Wild.
Hello, I'm Whitney Wild, and good evening, members of the board. Thank you for giving me this time to speak tonight about Policy 5710. I'm speaking not only for my own family, but for many families who have struggled with the sudden and rigid enforcement of this year's bus stop policy. What we've experienced is not just a minor inconvenience. It has created daily safety risks for our children that could be easily avoided with a more flexible approach. For many of us, it has felt as though the district's unyielding adherence to the policy has overshadowed safety and efficiency. On my street, for example, the bus now stops far away from where all of the children on the street actually live. Children as young as 5 are required to walk along a road that has no sidewalks and that has traffic that often does not adhere to posted speed limits. On the street next to ours, elementary students must walk down their street and cross a busy road notorious for speeding cars to reach a street corner. This is not a safe or logical expectation, but it has been happening because the district refuses to allow the bus driver to listen to parents and make a common sense judgment call to make the stop at a safe spot. While the study concluded that a small number of reviewed stops were unsafe, many families continue to see situations that the report does not fully reflect. Children crossing busy roads, waiting at corners with poor visibility, walking much farther distances, often without sidewalks or lighting, and the upcoming winter conditions when snow piles up, streets narrow, and children cannot walk safely on lawns or curbs. Many assigned stops are on private property where snow removal can't be enforced, causing children to stand in the road, or on properties where homeowners are unknown to the families with students and who may not welcome the added liability of children in their driveways. These are everyday lived experiences, and they matter just as much as the data provided in a study. If the district chooses to listen to parents, you will see what a third-party study simply cannot show you. Parents and bus drivers are the eyes in the neighborhoods, the ones with the students observing conditions in real time. As you review the study tonight, consider changes to the policy language. I want to emphasize that parents are not asking for special treatment. We are asking for common sense. We are asking you to trust your drivers and parents to work together to determine sensible locations based on actual conditions. We are here because we want all children in the district to be safe. But to do this, we need a transportation policy that supports safety rather than undermines it. The number of concerns raised this year shows that the current policy is not working. Williamsville School District is a highly sought after school district, and quite frankly, we can do better to provide safe bus stops for all of our students because every student matters. What we ask of the board tonight is simple. Please approve changes that restore the flexibility that used to exist that allowed parents and bus drivers to make safe and reasonable adjustments based on real conditions, not just policy wording. And please remember that our children are more important than policy. Thank you.
Thank you. Maria Lagopoulos. Hope I got close on your name.
Yeah, Lagopoulos. Thank you. Good evening. I'm here to discuss the similar issue of bus safety. Again, I am not thinking that my situation is unique. By the sounds of it, there are many people in my situation. My son is almost 6 and is a grade 1 student. We are attending Forest Elementary. We are the only stop on our street, and yet we are having to walk down to a fire hydrant, which is at the other side of the street. We have no sidewalks, the exact same situation as many parents are facing. It has not been a problem thus far. I bring all 3 of my kids down to the bus every day. However, I do believe that come winter, when the snow piles up, our neighbors may not be as friendly. We may not be able to wait on their property, and we will be forced to wait in the middle of the street. Again, I do believe this is an extreme safety issue. I was looking to see if there could be some consideration for these unique situations where it can be left either up to the bus driver or to the discretion of the board, where maybe, again, I understand a route needs to be streamlined. However, there are situations like this where there are no sidewalks. Come winter, there will be nowhere for us to wait. Secondly, situation that we are in is that we are the only stop for Forest Elementary on our street, and the bus, after picking us up at the fire hydrant, drives directly by our street, by our house. So I just, think that there could be some consideration for the houses that were not studied in this, the study that did look at the 71 streets that pose other safety issues. There are other issues that maybe have not been discovered yet, such as ours. So I was looking to see if that could be looked at by the board. Thank you. I appreciate it.
Thank you. Lisa Perry.
Good evening, members of the board, administrators, and community. My name is Lisa Perry, and I'm here to speak about student safety in the district's bus stop policy. For many years, Williamsville picked students up at or near their driveways, even though the written policy stated otherwise. Families built routines and safety plans around that long-standing practice. This year, however, enforcement changed abruptly. Drivers have expressed that they fear disciplinary action if they make even a single safety-based exception, even in cases where an adjustment adds no time or distance to a route. Many neighborhoods in our districts have no sidewalks, forcing students to walk in the street. Right now, children are stepping into leaf piles. Soon they'll be walking through snow and ice in the dark early morning hours. Many students must now walk to busy corners that were never designed for small children to wait safely. The district recently shared the PTSI school bus stop safety audit. While we appreciate the effort, the audit examined only 71 stops out of more than 5,000, less than 1.5%. That is far too small a sample to accurately represent safety district-wide. The audit does in fact note that driveway stops are often the safest option when sidewalks or shoulders are absent, reinforcing the need for flexibility. And every child is different. Some simply do not have the executive functioning needed to follow safety instructions. Our neighboring districts have taken more protective approaches. Clarence and Sweet Home continue driveway pickups and drop-offs, accepting extra time on the bus in exchange for safer access. Other districts like North Tonawanda use bus aids so young children board and exit safely. Williamsville currently provides neither of these supports. Families also face real-life challenges that current policy does not account for. Grandparents who help with childcare may struggle to walk to distant stops. Parents carrying infants or managing toddlers face same difficulties. District policy should work with families to support safety, not create daily obstacles. Inside our schools, safety is treated with the utmost seriousness. That commitment to safety cannot end at the building doors. It must extend to transportation, from school to the porch and back again. A petition calling for flexibility, safety-centered adjustments has now gathered nearly 500 signatures. Tonight, I respectfully urge the board to amend the policy to allow for reasonable case-by-case stop adjustments. Our children deserve safe access to the bus, just as they deserve a safe environment once they arrive at school. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. Aaron Petritz.
Thank you. I can't say anything more eloquently than the last few speakers already have, so I will just bring up the exact same issue. We live on a cul-de-sac. We have 15 homes, 2 kids that attend public school. We've had one stop in the same location for the last 2 years. It was suddenly moved to a much more dangerous location. We've addressed the issues with the transportation department. They've touted district policy has moved. We would just like an answer on why it has been moved to a more dangerous location. What steps need to be made to move it back to where it was. We're not asking for the bus to, take longer, go a different route. I'm fine with my kids walking. It's none of that. The stop is in a dangerous location. There's a lot of visibility issues. Your own traffic study says there's issues with the stop. Nothing has been done to change it. So if you're not going to look at your studies, you're not going to listen to the parents who want to know what solutions we can expect. And that's all I have. Thank you.
Andrea McLean.
Good evening. Thank you for having us. My name is Andrea McLean, and my comments are on bus stop safety. Williamsville Central School District does so many things in the name of student safety, yet this year the decision was made to remove a measure of safety from children of all ages, a poorly communicated strict adherence to the bus stop location policy. I moved here in 2022 and my children have always gotten off and on the bus at our house, and the reason seemed very obvious to me. We don't have sidewalks and our road is a through street to transit. I feel this change was reckless. Many of the parents and bus drivers who have years of experience on their roads and routes were told, hydrants and corners only in the name of policy and treating all kids the same. What should be considered fair to all the children of this district? The rigid policy that all children are standing next to a hydrant or corner when the bus arrives, or that all children have a safe path to the bus stop and a safe place to stand while they wait. In different neighborhoods, this means different styles of stops. For roads with no sidewalks, no marked shoulder, it is not safe for children to walk in the shared roadway with vehicular traffic. On my street, there's a long history of speeding traffic, which the Clarence Highway Department will verify. This policy simply puts children and their caregivers in harm's way more than necessary. The district should be helping to mitigate risks, even if they deem them not the district's liability. Our school district has an excellent reputation because it goes above and beyond, not because it meets the bare minimum of the law. Academics, art, music, sports, all of these areas are invested in above and beyond the bare minimum, and I believe our district is capable of providing transportation to all students in a way that surpasses the bare minimum requirements and is appropriate for the actual conditions on each street. I would like to know, what are the metrics driving this change? How much has the district saved in dollars and time by making this policy enforcement change this year? What savings of time and money does the district hope to get by increasing risk to families' health and safety daily? Who decided what our children are worth? And has the district seen any benefits from taking this safety measure from us? I propose that the district include language in its policies specifically to ensure the safety of students on through streets with no sidewalks. House-to-house bus service should be in place. I implore the district to prioritize student safety over efficiency. Removing measures of safety should only be an absolute last resort, and I believe our district has not exhausted other solutions to its transportation efficiency issues. Thank you.
Thank you. And that concludes our first public expression. Thank you to all.
Thank you to everyone who spoke tonight. We are moving on to item 4B. Dr. Brown Hall, I turn it over to you for introduction of the enrollment projections presentation.
Thank you very much, Board President. Every year we hire Dr. Grossman, previously with the RED group. This year, Dr. Grossman will be presenting, and this is actually his final year presenting. So we thank Dr. Grossman for the many years of service to our district with developing our enrollment report. Our enrollment report is used to actually identify enrollment projections for the district and help us to understand where we might see increases or decreases in student enrollment, which then will affect our FTEs and our staffing at our school buildings. I turn it over to Dr. Grossman. I welcome you and thank you very much for being here this evening to present your report virtually. The report is housed in board docs, and Dr. Grossman, I turn it over to you.
Thank you. Can you hear me all right?
We sure can.
Okay. I'm going to rely on Nicholas to move the slides along. I just wanted to.
Okay, you're getting a little bit lower with the volume.
What's that?
You're getting a little bit lower with the volume. Can you get closer to your microphone?
Awesome. Okay.
Can you hear me okay?
That's a little better. Yes.
All right, I'll try to speak up a little bit. We want to yell. Anyway, it's really been a pleasure to work with you for 2 decades doing these, and I've never had any problems. The staff, with new staff, superintendents, everyone's been fantastic for the last 20 plus years. But I decided that I'd go out on a high note. So I appreciate everybody's cooperation. And I hope you let me know if you can't hear what I'm saying. So we'll go to slide 1. Next slide. There we go. Nothing has changed in the key factors, but for those who might not be familiar with this report, I haven't been here for the report in prior years. The key factors that we look at are changes in kindergarten class size, the current enrollment, of course, migration in and out, the number of resident school-age children in private parochial home and charter schools, and the number of students in out-of-district programs or are constantly incarcerated students. We look at dropouts, high school leavers, and residential development. Those are the factors that really haven't changed in all the times. Slide 3. So we're going to look at assumptions that we use in making these projections, the current K-12 enrollments, the birth rates and kindergarten trends, the relationship between birth rates and kindergarten trends, migration and residential development, and that impact, and the impact of those residential development and in-migration on enrollments, the history of K-12, elementary, middle school, and high schools, and the projections of those. And then we have summary and conclusions. So the report doesn't take too long to go through. And frankly, there's no new assumptions, there's no new outline for the report. Okay, we'll go to number 4. So our assumptions are that kindergartens will be smaller than 12th grades for at least 4 years in Guadalajara. This has been an assumption for the entire time I've been doing this. We will go into detail on that. In-migration will offset attrition, and I'll explain to those who haven't got experience with this report what in-migration means. The housing turnover and new residential development will increase. That is an assumption, and that is continuing. And other factors such as incarcerated youth and so on, and students in parochial schools and private schools will stay stable. And that's been true except for increase in homeschool students during the COVID pandemic. Next. Okay, so if you look at this, it shows you what our K-12 enrollments are this year. And you can see that the kindergarten is not the smallest class, but last year it was quite small, and this year it's gone up significantly. And the largest class, over 800, is leaving the 12th grade this year, but a class of 799 is in the 4th grade. So we're really leveling out as we go in the size of the classes. And that's been ongoing. We used to have classes in the high 8s, even over 900. And so our declining enrollments have not been as bad as other districts. And we'll talk about why that is next. So one of the things that I like to do is look at the birth rates 5 years prior to class, kindergarten class, and the correlation between the birth rates, which are the red line, and the kindergarten classes 5 years later, blue line, is pretty stable. They go up and down pretty much in the same direction. And then there's a factor of students moving into the district, which supplements the fact that if you just had the students born in the district 5 years prior, you wouldn't have a class of more than, let's say, 534. But when you get the kids that have moved in who were in that age group over the period of 5 years, you have a class of 600 plus. So that what we do is we take an average of the difference between the birth rate and the kindergarten enrollments, and we apply that to the projection. So that's how we project projections. Kindergarten class projections have been pretty accurate, not 100%, because it's hard to predict what the birth rate's going to be. Okay, we'll move on. So migration and residential development, we haven't seen do this report before. Migration in or out is the net effect of both housing turnover and new residential development. And over the past years, decades, in-migration has mitigated the effects of smaller kindergarten classes, lower birth rates on the overall K-12. So, and if students were moving out of the district, we call it out migration, and you can see your enrollments go down. Okay, next slide. All right, so historically, in the last 5 years, the K-12 enrollments have increased by 50 students, which on a base of almost 10,000 is almost the same. Really have been very, very stable over the past 5 years. Next. And we project something similar, a little bit of an uptick, which is taking 20 years to appear, and a little bit of an uptick on the enrollments, about 200, give or take, over the next 5 years is what we would project. Okay. Next. The elementary school history of all the elementary schools is, again, very stable. This is 27, increase of 27 over the last 5 years, which is better than it was when we started because it was a decrease curve. 11. Next thing. And next year, for the next 5 years, we project continued increases of about 115, 120 students across all of the elementary schools. So it's not a huge increase, but it will have an impact. So, and then the middle schools, the 5-year history was an increase of 155 students, which put some pressure on some of the schools. Next. But we look at some of these larger classes moving out, we replace with somewhat smaller classes from the elementary schools, but still not a significant dip, 82 students. That's within the margin of error, I think, over the next 5 years. Next. But high schools, and the high schools very similar because their classes were so large, leaving, and smaller middle school classes moving in. There was a net of minus 143, but 450. All right, but we project that leveling out will occur, maybe a little bump up in the high schools, 155 students, 160, 150. Okay, so there, again, it's more or less stability all the way through. And then when we look at what we say is the summary conclusions, what we say in terms of the current versus next year versus 5 years from now. You can see relative stability across the board, with some districts being projected to, some elementary schools being projected to increase a little more than others. Some may be decreasing, but overall, pretty much stability there. And what we found was Dodge, Highville, Maple East, and Maple West. You need to look at what these numbers, what the implications of these numbers are. And high needs attention due to the number of proposed developments and the current feeder patterns. And I did mention in the report that it's hard to predict or hard to determine how developments are progressing based on the GSI, satellite images, because they're not current. So I recommended that staff occasionally go out and look at the different projects that are on the boards. And the planning department can tell you that, and just see where they are. Are they starting to sell? Are they just starting to clear? Because if they're just starting to clear, you don't have to worry about them for about 5 years. But if they're starting to sell, you can go on Zillow too and look at it. Then they will start having an impact. Number 17, and this is the same story, but there is a bump up in North High, and again, that is due to the potential for a lot of projects that are in that part of the district coming in and coming into middle schools, elementary, middle, and the high school. So, summary conclusions, next slide. K-12 enrollments will level out as follows: small increases in elementary, small decreases in middle, and small increases in high school. And I think that the key word there is small, but they can be impactful year to year, and school district to school district, because you can't really predict that